Alright, so we're going to be doing another battery replacement on a 13-inch MacBook Pro. This is a early 2015 model A1502. Alright, again, same thing as last time. We're going to use a Pentalobe 1.2 or P5 screwdriver and a T5 or Torx 5 screwdriver. Alright, so just remove the screws. You want to keep the screws flat like this, so put the head side down. In the pattern you remove it. That way you can keep the screws in order and you don't get them mixed up. If you mix up the screws, you can cause damage to the computer, so you want to try and keep them in order. On this specific model, the two in the back here near the hinge in the center are shorter than the rest. But again, if you can, try and keep them in order so that you put the same screw exactly where you got it. Alright, so I'm working on this laptop now with a broken clavicle, so my right arm doesn't have as good range of motion. It's somewhat coming back. I mean, it only broke a week and a day ago, so it's not even been that long. But now the pain is a lot lower. I hope I'm not causing it to be like permanently screwed up, but yeah, so I've been working, getting lots of customers with my broken, even with my broken bones, I've been working on this stuff. So yeah, anyways, if this video does end up helping you, please remember to like, subscribe, share my channel with others, and possibly consider contributing to the channel. Alright, I try and make these videos so that you guys can do your repairs a lot cheaper, so if you save a bunch of money, please consider helping me out. Alright, there we go. Now we're going to pop the cover off. After you get all the screws, just go to the back here and lift this up. There's usually these clips here, but as you can see, this battery is somewhat inflated, so the clips actually kind of push themselves out. Alright, it's pretty clean in here. I believe I worked on this not too long ago. It needed a screen replacement. But anyways, we're going to go ahead and replace the battery now. So we're going to switch to a T5 or Torx 5 screwdriver. First thing we're going to want to do is disconnect the battery itself. So lift this up. Right, let me see if I can zoom in here. Ow. Okay, so there we go. We got the connector here. Sorry, it's shaking around. And then you just want to pull this connector out just like that, okay? Alright, so just like the other model, there is a little bit of a different bracket situation here, but we only have to remove the trackpad connector just like on the other one. But this one, we're going to also remove the trackpad connector from down here as well. This model has a haptic feedback motor for the trackpad. Alright, again, keep the screws in order. So we'll remove those two screws. Oh, let's do this first. So I'm going to move this bracket, but after disconnecting the battery, just to be safe, what you want to do, open up the computer, and then you want to press and hold the power button for about 10 to 15 seconds. All right, hold that 10 to 15 seconds. Okay, should be good enough. Let's close this up. Alright, so now that we got this out, the battery connector out, let's go ahead and remove the screw here for the battery connector as well. Okay, again, keep the screws in order because they are different size, shape, and lengths. And there we go. So now we're going to disconnect the trackpad connector here. So to do that, just get underneath. You can use plastic pry tools. I just use my fingernails, and you kind of just wiggle this from the corners. And then you don't want to crease this, so you kind of want to pull it this way as you kind of peel it up, just like this. Okay, this will keep the cable more flat, and as you can see, I'm keeping my finger here. This is to prevent the cable from just yanking out right away after it reaches the end of the adhesive here. Alright, now we're going to flip this latch up. Okay, flip that latch up, just like that. Once you got that up, you can kind of wiggle and pull this connector back. As you can see, it's coming out of the slot. There is a slight adhesive under there, so it is going to be a little bit tough to pull it out, but just yank that out. There we go, and here you can see there's the adhesive on the bottom. All right, we're going to set that cable aside, and now we're going to remove the, let me zoom out, we're going to remove the speaker screws here. Oh, I think I left my phone recording at like Ultra HD or something. That's probably why I've been uploading videos and they're a lot larger than usual. So we'll see. All right, so remove those 3 screws there, and the speaker we're going to lift up and just move it out of the way. We don't need to take it out completely. I'm just going to leave it over to the side like this, okay? This one we can remove just because the cable is a lot shorter, so let's remove these screws as well. Okay, 2 and 3. There we go, and then we're going to do the same thing, lift it up here, and then swing it over. Get the cable out from underneath this screw mount. All right, and then to remove the speaker, you get underneath. You can use a plastic pry tool. I just use my fingernail, and there is a slight adhesive, so you want to peel that up. Once you get all the way to the edge of the connector, let me zoom in so you can actually see that better. Okay, hopefully my phone isn't going to overheat, but once you get to the edge of the connector, you just pop it up right at the edge, okay? Just like that. Okay, there we go. We got the speaker out, so we're going to set that aside. Okay, so now we got all the screws and everything out. All that's left, we have to scrape out the battery pack and undo the adhesive underneath, okay? So to do this, I use this flat pry tool. I'm not sure where you can get this specific tool. You want something like thin and flexible like this. I found this on Amazon. I can actually send a link if you guys want to use the same kind of tool. This one works pretty well as well. The only thing is it's much thicker, so I don't know if you can see it in camera, but this one is probably like 3 times as thick or something. So what I had to do was I used like a file, and I filed down the edge on the front just to make it super thin. And actually now the edge of this is much thinner and sharper. So you can use this kind of tool. Or if you have something like this, you can use that. Some people use like knives, but make sure it's flexible and that the tip isn't super sharp. Okay, so to remove this, the easiest way is if you go this way, okay? So underneath, my tool has like a slight bend, so it's curved like this. So when I push it in, it goes underneath. If you push it this way, then it will scrape under the battery, and that's not good. So make sure if your tool has a bend in it to do that as well. Okay, I'm gonna have to push this against my body because I can't hold it with my other hand. And there we go, just scrape underneath just like that, pull it back out, and repeat. Okay, so we're gonna go underneath the entire battery pack. There you go, we got that battery out. We're gonna do the same thing with this side. Okay, just like that. If your tool isn't very flexible, you'll actually want to go over from the side here, okay? Because then you have more room. This one actually you can do this side, but then when you get to this side, you want to go from underneath this and go here. Because if you do it here and your tool isn't very flexible, you're definitely going to cut through this thing. Okay. Oh, I have a customer here to pick up their computer, so I'll be back. Let me finish this one side, and I will be back. Okay, just like that. All right, there we go. So there you go. We got these 2 up. We're going to go ahead and do the other side next. But let me deal with my customer outside real quick, and then I will be back. All right, I'm back. Sorry about that. Let's go ahead and continue removing the battery. Hopefully my phone isn't going to overheat because it is hot. I'm somewhat sweating. All right, so let's go ahead and continue removing the battery. So we did this side already. Let's go ahead and do this side now. Okay, same thing. Just go under. Okay, the hardest part is the central area because there are cables running under there, mainly the keyboard cable that you want to be careful for. Okay. All right, just like that. Yeah, this is just a battery replacement video. You can actually upgrade the SSD on this model. So if you're wondering, yes, you can change the SSD. The SSD is this little card here. There's just one screw holding it in place. You can lift it up and pull it out. But I have other videos for that if you wanted to see. All right, this one's not too bad. Okay, so let's go ahead now and scrape underneath here. So once you get underneath these, if you've seen my other videos for this kind of thing, let me try and lift this up with my left hand because my right hand's screwed up. Okay. So here you can see the trackpad is raised there with this little metal bracket. So we're going to have to lift the tool slightly and then go underneath the side there. Okay. Let's see, hopefully I can get this in view of the camera as well. Get off some of that adhesive. So this side, I like to kind of go underneath one of the battery packs, okay? Make sure the speaker's out of the way, and then kind of just hold that up. Okay, make sure you get underneath the battery and just scrape it in as well, just like that. Okay, and you want to be careful not to scrape over towards this side. It helps to kind of go this way so you don't accidentally cut into the keyboard cable that's down here. Okay, all right. I have a feeling within about 2 to 3 weeks I can probably use my right arm a lot better, but I'm gonna wait until I get my x-rays. I told them to wait about 6 weeks before doing x-rays again, so that way if it's healing I'll actually see how well healed it is, and then I can decide how much to put my arm to work. Okay, you also want to be careful not to cut down here, because you don't want to end up cutting into the trackpad, of course, and then damaging that. So as you can see, it kind of will go over that direction. You want to be careful. Okay, and same thing with going up here, you want to be careful. All right, once you kind of get most of it up, you want to make sure to peel this speaker cable out. Okay, all right, because that's attached to the battery. There you go. And then cut that all up, and then you can kind of work your way over to the side here. Okay, there we go. All right, let's flip it over and do the other side. I'm going to put the speaker back into place here just so it's not dangling. Oops, sorry you couldn't see that. I just put the speaker back in. All right, let's go ahead and cut this side now. Same thing. Start with the bottom here. Okay, there we go. Work our way over a little bit. Cut it some more. Work our way over a bit more. Cut that some more. Just keep going. Sorry if my head got in the way. Alright, let's get in there. If you want, you can also work your way over towards the side like this. But again, you want to be careful for the trackpad, and you want to make sure not to let the tool slide too far and hit the keyboard cable here. Okay, just like that. All right, let's see here. Make sure to cut this up. There we go. Okay, so we've got that all out. Now we're going to lift the battery pack out of here. So lift all the battery packs up and then slide it out. There you go. You can see all the cut up stuff. Here you can see underneath the battery. There you go. No punctures. Sometimes people get worried that the battery is going to get punctured, but if you kind of know what you're doing, then you shouldn't have an issue. Here's the trackpad cable that I mentioned, or the keyboard cable that I mentioned. If you damage that, you're going to end up having to replace the entire palm rest assembly, because replacing the keyboard, well, I do have videos on replacing keyboards on these kinds of things. You can watch those and see how much of a pain it is. Most of the time, it's not going to be worth doing. All right, so there we go. Let's peel off all this old adhesive. This is a long, tedious process. If you want, you can just skip over this. But yeah, basically we're just going to be peeling up all this old adhesive here. Okay, if you don't peel this out and clean it up, then the new battery is not going to stick very well. So you kind of want to try and peel this up as best as you can. And then we're going to clean off the residue with some isopropyl rubbing alcohol. Okay. Okay, we're going to peel all this out as well. Okay. There we go. Peel out this side as well. Now's the time, if you haven't already, again, make sure to like, subscribe, share my channel with others. Alright, I'm gonna keep peeling this stuff out. These plastic razor blades do help quite a bit. Now, scrape out this one. Go. Peel that all up. Let's rotate this to make it a little bit easier. Scrape up the adhesive. Okay, let's rotate this some more. Let's see if I can lift this and take a better look. There we go. Oh, this side doesn't want to come out easily. Let's flip this again. Get the corner of this adhesive out. Oops, sorry, I'm going out of view. Okay, some people get annoyed that I record all this stuff, but I kind of want to show how much time and effort goes into this. Removing all this adhesive and cleaning it up. This is actually the most time-consuming part of the entire repair, so if I cut that out, then people will think that it's like a super quick, easy thing to replace. All right. This adhesive. And after we get all of this out, we need to clean off the residue. Okay. Almost there. Alright, last piece, and then we clean off the residue. Alright, let's go ahead and clean up the residue. So to clean up the residue, you want to use some isopropyl alcohol and paper towels. So I got paper towel here. Okay. Basically just going to take the isopropyl alcohol and put that on the paper towel. Okay. Be careful not to spill this all over your computer. Alright, so get the isopropyl alcohol onto the adhesive. Kind of want to get it all soaked up. Okay, you can also do this with a cotton ball. It might help because you want the isopropyl alcohol to stay on the adhesive actually. Alright. Oh, there's some gross yellow stuff in here. I'm going to flip this over. So then I flip the paper towel over, get some more rubbing alcohol. Alright. I'm going to go ahead and wet that up again. Again, you want the isopropyl alcohol to kind of stay on the adhesive to loosen it up. When it gets loosened up, the adhesive residue turns a bit more white, and then you can kind of scrape it off with the tool. And usually I'll just do this several times until I don't really see the residue anymore. Okay, so here you can see it's kind of coming up like some boogers now. Alright. Okay, hopefully you guys can see that the residue is getting scraped away. Okay, let's go ahead and scrape this side as well. This one kind of dried up, so I'm going to have to put more. Okay, get isopropyl alcohol again. You can do like one side at a time, makes it a little bit easier because you can make sure the adhesive kind of stays saturated with the rubbing alcohol. Okay. I'm going to get a little more rubbing alcohol. Just get the adhesive all saturated, and you should be able to scrape all this gunk up. Alright, you see it's all coming out. Alright, go over to the next side, same thing. You can see when you wet it, the adhesive starts becoming all like goopy. And then you can go ahead and scrape that all up. Hopefully you can see that. All this goop came off. Okay, and we're just going to keep continuing that all around. If it gets too gunky, switch to a new piece of paper towel. Okay. Again, this might work better with a cotton ball. I haven't tried that, but you kind of want to have the isopropyl alcohol kind of just liquidy on the sticker residue. Okay. You can see it's almost completely all gone right there. Alright. There's still some sticker residue, but most of it's gone. Okay. Scrape all that off. And scrape this off. There you go. Alright, I'm gonna rotate that, add a little more. I'm getting a phone call, but I'm gonna hold off on that because I'm almost done. Okay, here you can see all the gross like residue. We're gonna go ahead and try and get all this off, and then we'll use a clean paper towel to try and get up as much residue as we can. Go. Oh, the residue sticking on the tool. Okay, try and get the rubbing alcohol on there. Go. One more piece of paper towel, and hopefully we can wipe off all the residue with this one. Okay. Same thing, wipe it up. You can try using the dry piece afterwards to make sure it's all dried up. Need some more rubbing alcohol in here. I think that's about it. So for this, we're going to go ahead and stick in the new battery. Oops, I'm knocking all the screws everywhere. As you can see, we can't really get all the residue out, that thin film of stuff, but all the sticky stuff, need to get that out. Okay. There we go. All right, so now we're gonna go ahead and put the replacement battery into place. All right, same thing as before. Get the replacement battery. Get these little feet down here lined up. Okay. Just like that, and then you slide this bottom piece under. Make sure it's going to line up okay. So it looks like it should be fine. So now we're going to go ahead and peel this piece off. All right, just peel this adhesive protection layer out. Go. We're going to go ahead and slide this underneath the speaker here and make sure that these bottom pieces go on top. Okay, make sure that the screw hole mount lines up here. Okay, there we go, and then we can slowly drop these battery packs into place. Make sure this is lined up again. Okay, so first thing, we're going to put the screw for the battery connector here. All right. Now that that's in, we can put the speaker back in, slide it underneath the cable underneath the screw mount, and then flop that over, get this lined up, and just push it into place, just push it down. There we go. Okay, let's go ahead and put the screws back for the speaker. Ow. Okay, just like this. Screw in as well. And the last screw here. All right, then tighten those screws up. We're gonna make sure this works before we peel off this film here. Actually, let's just peel that film off. Okay. So this clear film, we're gonna peel that up. And when you peel this off, oops, sorry. When you peel this off, you want to actually roll it. You don't want to just pull it straight up. So you roll this so that it doesn't separate the layers of the battery, okay? Just like this. Okay. So as you can see, even when doing that, there's sometimes some bubbles here. Okay. But anyways, that's how we got the battery, get the battery in place. And then you want to line up the one corner here of the connector. Once you get that corner lined up, you can push the whole thing in. I probably shouldn't have done that until I put the trackpad connector, so actually let me disconnect the battery. It's a little bit tough to pull this back up. Pull that battery connector back out. There we go. All right. I'm going to hold the power button again just to drain it so that I don't risk any damage to it. All right, 10 to 15 seconds. Okay, let's go ahead and put the trackpad connector back in. Make sure this latches up, and then you kind of want to do it at an angle so that the adhesive doesn't stick itself back down until you have the connector completely in. Okay, just like this. And then slide the latch back down with your finger. There we go. Get this lined up. There's some dust in there, so let me clean that out. All right, get this lined up. And once it's all lined up, there we go. You can push it back down. All right, and then we'll just push this back down. Get the metal bracket, put that back on top. All right, put the screw loosely first. Get the second screw. Get that in as well. And then we'll tighten this down. Tighten this down. Don't forget the other speaker screws as well. And after doing this, you want to do a SMC and Pram reset. A lot of people ask me why. It's really quick and simple, so I mean, just do it. It resets hardware settings so that the board doesn't remember like old hardware stuff that was connected. And if you want a more detailed reason or what it does, you can Google SMC and Pram reset. Anyways, let's reconnect the battery. Okay. We'll put the cover back on. All right, let's flip this back over. All right, oops, I got all that gunk on there, so let me clean that off. Okay. All right, let's open up the screen. Oops, what's that? What's that? Okay, let's open it up. All right, so SMC reset is Control Option Shift on the left side and then the power button. If you have it plugged in and the charger is orange, it'll turn green and then back to orange. If it's green, you won't see this happen, but that's how you know you did the SMC reset right. All right, now we're gonna do a Pram reset, power up the computer, and then do Command Option P and R. Just hold those buttons down. The computer should turn on. Let me see, maybe I need to plug it in first. Okay, so I heard the chime. If you keep holding it, it'll chime a second time, and that's how you know you did the Pram reset properly. Okay, so you should hear the chime a second time. There we go, and now we can let go. So that's how you know you did the Pram reset properly. Now we just wait for the screen to come back up. There we go. And we should be good to go. So hopefully this video helped you guys. If it did, please like and subscribe and share my channel with others so that they can also fix their computers. I'm going to put back the rest of the screws, but that's pretty much all there is to it. All right, let me wait till this thing completely boots up. I can still see the Apple thing. It's loading. Come on, do your thing. Come on. There we go. It's loading now. Okay, so the thing is on now, and we're good to go. All right, so I'm going to shut this. We're going to go ahead and put the screws back, but that's pretty much it. Again, just going to put back the screws. Oops, okay. And that's all there is to it. All right. Let me zoom out a tiny bit. There we go. Last 2 screws. Alright, and that's all there is to it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Let's drop that phone. There we go.